Welcome to Ornaments of Grace, stories for Advent and Christmas. From the first letter of St. John. Beloved, what was from the beginning, what we have heard, what we have seen with our eyes, what we have looked upon and touched with our hands, concerns the word of life. John was one of the original 12 apostles, the only one thought to have lived to old age, and he was not killed for his faith. He was one of the pillars of the Jerusalem church after Jesus' death. Some believe that around 95 AD, John was exiled to the island of Patmos during a time of persecution, and there wrote the book of Revelation. But we're unsure of this. We do know that John and his elder brother James were fishermen, the sons of Salome and Zebedee, and they were nicknamed Sons of Thunder, perhaps because of their passionate ways. Along with Peter and Andrew, John and James were among the first called by Jesus to follow him as apostles. Because John had an outstanding place among Jesus' closest earthly friends and followers, through his writings, John can tell us much about the heart of Jesus. John, Peter, and James witnessed the raising of Jairus' daughter from the dead. John, again with Peter and James, witnessed the transfiguration of Jesus. John and Peter were the two sent into the city to prepare for the Last Supper. At the Last Supper, John was seated next to Jesus, leaning on him. He was the one disciple who, with Peter, followed Jesus into the palace of the high priest after the arrest in the Garden of Gethsemane. John alone remained with Mary at the foot of the cross on Calvary and took the sorrowing mother into his care after Jesus' death. After the resurrection, John hurried to the empty tomb with Peter, and John was the first to believe Jesus had risen from the dead. He was the first to recognize Jesus on the shore of Lake Gennesaret. Most of all, John the Evangelist lets us know how close he was to Jesus by calling himself the disciple whom Jesus loved. If we know we are loved by Jesus, John seems to say we will recognize him everywhere and anywhere. Because John understood the undying nature of love, that bond continued to grow after the ascension and the descent of the Holy Spirit on Pentecost. He became a prominent leader in founding and guiding the early church. John is with Peter when he healed the lame man in the temple, and when he taught the newly converted in Samaria. He was even thrown into prison with Peter for a time. John wanted us to know that we too are Jesus' beloved disciples. When we know how much we are loved, we can find strength to live that love every day. John knew Jesus intimately. He can address us as beloved in today's reading because he knows we are. St. John the Apostle and Evangelist is our 26th Ornament of Grace. Beloved, what was from the beginning, what we have heard, what we have seen with our eyes, what we have looked upon and touched with our hands, concerns the word of life. Observing the beautiful ornaments, John addresses you as beloved in today's letter. Why did he want you to know this? When you love someone passionately as John loved Jesus, why do you want to make others understand why you love that person?
Shalom World Podcasts is now available on all online platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and others.